You told a lie today. Maybe you said you were fine. Maybe you said the food was great. Maybe you said you'd love to come knowing you wouldn't. It felt small, automatic even. But the real answer to why you did it is far stranger than manners. Lying isn't a flaw in human character. It's a feature that had to evolve. And the story of when it started doesn't begin with humans at all. It begins with a chimpanzee named Belle. In the 1970s, researchers ran an experiment with two chimps, Belle and Rock. Belle knew where food was hidden. She could see it. Rock could not. At first, Belle led Rock straight to it, and Rock took most of the food for himself. Belle didn't like that, so she adjusted. She stopped leading him there directly. She sat on the food. She waited until Rock lost interest and wandered off, then she uncovered it for herself. That's not just hiding something. That's understanding what another mind does and doesn't know, and using that gap on purpose. Primatologist Frans de Waal, who documented cases like this, argued that deception in primates wasn't an accident of intelligence. It was evidence of something deeper. A mind that could model another mind. That's the real starting point. Not the lie itself, but the ability to know that someone else's knowledge is different from your own. Psychologists call this theory of mind. And here's the strange part. You weren't born with it. You had to grow into it. Ask a 3-year-old to watch a puppet hide a marble in a box, then leave the room. While the puppet is gone, you move the marble to a different box. Ask the child where the puppet will look for it when it comes back. Most 3-year-olds say the second box, the one where the marble actually is now. They're not lying. They genuinely can't imagine that the puppet still believes something false. Their own knowledge and everyone else's knowledge feel like the same thing. By around 4, that changes. Suddenly, children understand that other people can believe things that aren't true. And almost immediately after that milestone appears, something else appears with it. Lying. Psychologist Michael Tomasello, who spent decades comparing human children to great apes, found that this timing isn't a coincidence. The moment a child fully grasps that other minds can hold false beliefs is roughly the same moment that child becomes capable of deliberately planting one. You can't lie to someone until you understand that their reality can differ from yours. Deception isn't the opposite of understanding people. It's a byproduct of finally understanding them. So if this ability shows up so early, so reliably in every culture on Earth, what was it actually for? Not what you'd guess. Robin Dunbar, an anthropologist known for his research into human social groups, proposed that early human survival depended less on hunting skill and more on managing relationships. Early humans lived in shifting alliances. Who could you trust? Who owed you a favor? Who was quietly plotting against the group's status order? Dunbar argued that the human brain grew as large as it did largely to track this social complexity, not to solve physical problems like tool use. And once you're tracking a social world that dense, small deceptions become tools of survival. Not knives-out lies, soft ones. Saying you're skilled at something you're only decent at to earn a place in the hunting party. Hiding an injury so you're not seen as a burden. Insisting you don't mind sharing food because appearing generous kept you inside the group and the group was what kept you alive. Here's the part that should make you sit with your own day for a second. Psychologist Belle ran studies asking ordinary adults to keep a diary of every lie they told over a week. The result? Most people lie once or twice a day. But almost none of it looked like the dramatic lying you picture. It wasn't about hiding affairs or covering crimes, it was small. Saying a gift was perfect when it wasn't. Saying you were busy when you just didn't want to go. Saying you agreed when you didn't. DePaulo's data showed something important. Most lying isn't selfish. Most of it is social glue. It's the thing that keeps a group running smoothly instead of grinding against friction every time someone's honest opinion collides with someone else's feelings. That's the twist worth sitting with. You assume lying is a breakdown of trust. But evolutionarily, it may be one of the things that made large-scale trust possible at all. A species that said every unfiltered thought out loud all the time might not have been able to hold a group together long enough to survive winter. Think about what total honesty would actually do to a tribe of 30 people who depend on each other completely. Every insult spoken, every unflattering comparison stated outright. Every private doubt about the group's leader said to his face in front of everyone. That's not a functioning society. That might be a society that fractures within a season. So the lie became a kind of social lubricant. Not deception in the criminal sense. Something closer to diplomacy. Which raises a strange question. If lying helped hold groups together, why do you still feel guilty doing it? Because right alongside the ability to deceive, humans evolved an equally sharp ability to detect deception. Tomasello's research and others since have shown that even young children get better at spotting inconsistency in a story almost as fast as they get better at telling one. It's an arms race that never really ends. You lie a little. Everyone around you is watching for exactly that. So the lies that survive generation after generation are the small, low-stakes, socially oiled ones. The big dramatic lies get caught, the tiny convenient ones slide through, because catching every white lie would cost more socially than it saves. That's why "I'm fine" survives as a sentence, and elaborate cover stories mostly don't. Natural selection, in a sense, edited human lying down to the sizes a social brain could sustain without collapsing the group's trust entirely. Here's where it gets personal. The next time you catch yourself softening the truth, saying you love a gift you don't, telling a coworker their idea is interesting when it isn't, you're not committing some modern moral failure. You're running code that's been shaping human groups since before language was even fully formed. Chimpanzees like Belle were already running an early draft of it, one banana at a time. The line between deception and diplomacy has always been thinner than people like to admit. Every close relationship you have runs partly on withheld true opinions and partly on honest ones. And the balance between those two things is not a bug in how humans connect. It's the actual mechanism. So no, lying didn't start with humans being dishonest. It started with a mind clever enough to realize that another mind didn't know what it knew. Everything after that, the tribal alliances, the polite compliments, the "fine you said this morning," is just that same ancient trick, still running, still keeping your world from falling apart one honest sentence at a time. You told a lie today. Now you know it might be one of the oldest and most human things you've ever done.